I was looking down at the ground from like 10,000 feet as I'm on top of this guy. It did blow my mind a little bit. And I mean, it was just a wild experience. You know, I couldn't believe that was actually happening. It was like, wow, this is my life. This is something I would never have experienced otherwise.
Welcome to Secrets of a Sugar Daddy. Here's your host, Marcus.
Welcome to another episode of Secrets of a Sugar Daddy, the #1 sugar dating podcast in the world, where we pull back the curtains on the good and the bad and the shocking stories of sugar dating. So I've got a guest in today. She's somewhat local, and I really appreciate her coming into the studio because she did have to make a little bit of a drive. But first, if you haven't applied for Sugarpalooza 7, you're going to want to do that now. We are running out of time. I still have spots available, so go to our website, secretsofasugardaddy.com. Press the party tab. You will see an application there for 3 days, 2 nights, accommodations. You will get a mixer on Friday night. This is November 14th through 16th coming up. You will also get a pre-party on Saturday, a very fun party bus to and from Phoenix Arena, where we have 2 private suites to see the legendary hit makers Bryan Adams and Pat Benatar. They are a lot of fun, and you're going to want to join us in that party suite. The party bus will take us back, and then who knows till when the party will continue. My guest has some experience on that. We're probably going to talk about it. And then on Sunday, we've got just a casual brunch, decompress, take people to the airport, say our goodbyes. And then the nice thing is you've got some friends for life. So you will really, really enjoy it. We have a lot of familiar faces coming back, and then we always have lots of new people that get to experience this life-changing event. Now, those aren't my words. Those are their words. But anyway, you want to join us, and if you are a member of our Patreon, you're going to be prioritized in the judging. Right now, the Patreon is only $10 a month. Actually, it's free, but we do have tiers that start as little as $10 a month and then go up from there, and we have some coaching and profile options. Beginning January, we are going to have some new tiers that are a little bit more expensive. So but once you're locked in, you're locked in. Like, I can't go in and just randomly say, oh, now it's $20 a month. No, if you are at the $10 a month member, you are locked in for, I guess, life. I don't know. I can't change that. But the new tiers will be a little higher, so you're definitely going to want to get in before January 1st, 2020. I think it's 2026. So anyway, that's our Patreon. It's a lot of fun. Join us there. Okay, let's get to our guest. I don't want to delay too long. Welcome. She's an experienced sugar baby, and we've got to know her over the last few years. Allie from Arizona. How are you?
I am doing really good. How are you?
Man, I'm fantastic. I love when our guests come into the studio. We could have done a Zoom call with you, but it's just so much better here. It's comfortable, right?
Yeah, I love this.
Have you ever done a podcast before?
I have never been on a single podcast in my life, and I'm all nervous.
A little nervous. It's weird kind of hearing yourself in the headphones, isn't it?
It is. I sound a lot different than I thought.
But you'll get used to it. All right, so let's just get a little bit to know about you. You are how old?
I just turned 36.
36.
I'm starting to get to the age where I have to think about it.
Yeah. Oh, no, trust me. I've long been there. You get told all the time you look much younger.
I appreciate it every single time because I'm like, are you just being nice?
Because when you said 36, I'm like shaking my head going, wait a minute. I thought you were going to say like 31 or 2.
I do get that, but I don't believe people every time they say it, but I appreciate it.
Do you have some kind of a routine that helps you keep young?
I think being
just
short
genetic that way
helps. I don't know, but yeah, it might be that I put lotion on my face and don't go in the sun a lot.
All right. So have you been married before?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a good question I have.
How long were you married?
I was married for 3 years, so early 20s.
You got married in your early 20s?
Yeah.
Any children from that?
No.
Okay.
We had fur babies, but that was it, yeah.
Same. Yeah, my ex-wife couldn't get pregnant, so we ended up having 2 dogs, and I don't know what was tougher, the 2 dogs or a baby. I don't know.
Yeah.
Sometimes those dogs were, they demanded a lot of attention.
Definitely, yeah.
But we enjoyed them. So let me just ask you a little about your marriage, and then we'll move on. You got married young. How did you meet him? Was he much older than you?
No, yeah, I met him through a friend. He worked with a friend of mine, and then I met that friend group, and then we got to know each other, and we ended up dating for about a year, and then we got engaged, and, I was just raised to think, you get married, you go to college, you get married, you have kids, like that's just what you do. But I realized that I didn't want to have kids, and he did, and that was one of the main reasons we didn't end up staying together.
Okay. Are you still in contact with him, or is it a clean break and you guys have gone your separate ways?
No, like I'm usually really good with, I can stay in touch with exes. I've had very easygoing breakups that have turned into friendships in the past, but with that relationship, it wasn't in his wheelhouse to stay friends with an ex. I think yeah.
So then you found yourself in your mid-20s? I don't know.
Yeah.
And
divorced in my mid-20s. Yeah. It was funny because I thought, who's going to want a 25-year-old divorce lady? And it's like, I didn't have any clue.
Right. All right. So where did you go? What happened from there?
I mean, I just kind of went through a series of relationships after that. But along the way, I had always thought maybe I'd be interested in being in an open relationship. I kind of serially dated monogamously, but I always wanted to know what other options there were out there. And so I explored polyamory a little bit along the way as well.
How did you do that?
Mostly by listening to podcasts and reading books and just kind of informing myself because, I have a tendency, as a lot of people do, I guess, to second guess myself and think is what I'm doing wrong? Ultimately, it's like if you're upfront about whatever you're doing with people in your life and you have an adult conversation and you can be on the same page, there's not really a reason why not. Okay.
So when did you first start sugar dating?
I didn't start until it was January of last year. So so this is 2025. So it's 2024. In January was when I officially found my first real.
You haven't been doing it that long.
No, it's been a little over a year and a half.
Okay. Did you have any serious relationships before that?
Yeah, I did. I had a 2-year relationship that I had gotten out of not long before, and that was part of the reason why I ended up getting into sugar dating, actually. So.
Why did that push you that direction?
Yeah, so he had been living with me for about a year since I had bought my house. And so he, of course, paid half of the rent and half of utilities and everything. And when we broke up, my first thought was, how am I going to pay for everything? And then, so I thought, okay, I'm going to have to get a roommate, which I really didn't want to do, but I did try. I tried to get a roommate. I changed my job a little bit so I could be more stable with my income, have better income for that. But then when I also saw that he was back on the dating sites, because I did a little stalking and found out. So I found out he's back on the dating sites, and I wasn't ready to go out and date, and I really hated the dating sites. So emotionally I wasn't ready, but it was kind of I don't know what told me to do this, but I was like, you know what, maybe this will solve 2 problems at once. I'll go find, some sugar dating person, they can help me cover some of my expenses and I'll have fun and it'll distract me from what I'm going through. So that's what got me into it to begin with.
So you jumped on Seeking, I guess, or any others?
Actually, I just Googled sugar dating site, and it's funny because no one has ever talked about this that I've heard, but luxury date.
Yeah.
So that's
LUX, I think, or something like that.
Yeah, luxury. It's called Luxury Date, and then so it's LD and on my app, and then but it's the same thing as the, what's it called? The sugar, what's it called?
You got secret benefits. You've got Sugar Daddy Meet, sugardaddy.com.
I think it's secret benefits. That's what it is. It's the same thing. It's exactly the same thing, but it just showed up as luxury date for me. And they had no secrets about it being for sugar dating. Like, it's very open. They have a thing they send out to you in an email about like how to sugar date and stuff. And it's, So.
What did you think sugar dating was?
Well, honestly, it was sort of like what it is I don't know why I even knew about it. I think there was like some post on social media where someone was kind of exploring it. And so I saw that, but basically I was just like, I don't know, maybe they'll take me to dinner and give me some money and gifts. And so hopefully that's how it goes most of the time.
Right. So how was your first experiences on the site?
That's a really funny question too. You do ask good questions. I can tell you've been doing this for a while.
Well, I'm a curious person, but I kind of know where to take this.
Yeah. The first experiences that I had actually were, I seemed to meet man after man that was looking for a traditional relationship. Like the very first person I talked to, he messaged me saying like, here's what I will give you. Like, he laid out an amount and he said he was going to, do this and that, and we could move toward a allowance or something. And it was funny. It was a guy 2 years older than me. So at the time he was 36. And I was like, okay, this is a score. He's attractive. He's my age. And he's just told me how much he's going to give me and all this stuff. This sounds great. So we met. And very quickly I could see that he was like still struggling to get over an ex. And he was interesting. We had a good conversation, but he never gave me anything, like never gave me any kind of like gifts or like financial anything. And he kept wrestling with this, is this okay or not? For him to do. And we ended up like basically dating for 6 weeks because I was so new. I was just ready to be caught up in anything, apparently.
Wow. Okay, wait.
Yeah.
So you continued even after the first meet and greet.
Yeah, because I didn't even know like if I would really find anything on like, it was definitely distracting me from my breakup, and being able to bury those emotions and stuff and like hang out with this hot guy, and we had great sex and it was awesome. But yeah, no money. And then I met 2 other guys and neither of them wanted to do that either. They like
so
really
you're starting to wonder, where is this sugar I keep hearing about?
I know. And so I was like, well, that's cool. I met some nice people. And so like literally I dated them for like weeks and months, and they would like, I felt like I was led on, to begin with. And I thought, well, maybe that doesn't exist. But it wasn't until sometime in January when I met someone, and then we went out to dinner. We went back to his place, and I left with like $400 at the end of it. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is real. Like, how did I miss this for so long? And so that kind of got me started a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
You're listening to Secrets of a Sugar Daddy. Now back to the show with your host, Marcus.
Yeah, so your first few experiences, you're thinking, this is not at all what I had signed up for, but now you're finally starting to get in the flow. Maybe you were just screening the wrong way, or what do you think was the issue?
Yeah, I think it was just that I didn't have the confidence or that it was going to work to begin with. So when I met people that I was just like attracted to and I was having fun with, it was kind of like I was just falling into a pattern where what I would normally do with dating. So it was just really easy for me to kind of do that and not ask for what I wanted because I didn't even know what you could ask for. And so actually it was around that time when I found your podcast, and that was really helpful because then I started to learn like what to ask. I started to have a thought of, how much to ask for, like what could you expect?
Right.
So
how did you find us?
I just searched sugar on my podcast app, like I guess Spotify. Mm-hmm. So I just searched sugar daddy or sugar dating or something, and it popped up. And you guys have only been going, you'd been going for like a year, I think, at that point, or maybe 2 or.
Yeah, a couple years.
So, but I was like, oh, this is really great. And it was helpful. Like everybody else has said that has found your podcast. It's like, no, this is like the reason I'm listening is because like it's helping me. And anytime I do anything, I pretty much go and research it first. So along the way, I kind of realized like, okay, this is how I need to talk about it. Like, this is what I should expect. And I mean, even though I was in a situation where I wanted to, like, I needed more income, I was never desperate. So I was like, I'm not going to go and like, you know, take these guys, like, they're like, oh, you know, come over and give me a blowjob, like $200 or something. And I'm like, I don't want to do that.
Right. You're doing what you want to do, not just for the money.
Right.
Which is a nice place to be, because now you can like, all right, you douchebag. It's like there's more to it than this, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I follow you on social media, and I see you flying a lot.
Oh, yeah.
And now I think this has all come from your sugar dating life, right?
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit how you got into being a pilot. That's pretty amazing.
Yeah. So I'm still working on that license, which is kind of the next thing that kept me, you know, really wanting to continue sugar dating is that, you know, you have to pay for lessons and that costs a lot. But to back it up, I had met a guy and we started seeing each other about once a week. And pretty soon he was like, hey, let me show you my plane. I'll take you up in my plane. I was like, all right, that sounds cool. But yeah, I'd never been in a small plane before. I'd never even considered trying to learn to fly, even though I had other friends who did. Yeah, so pretty soon he started teaching me to fly, and I was having a great time with that. Yeah, it was kind of funny because we transitioned from a sugar relationship into a regular relationship that didn't have the financial benefits anymore, because I felt like, and he seemed to feel too, that like if I wanted to prove that I cared for him, that he would stop financially supporting me, which now I'm thinking about it, it's like that doesn't make sense. You want to take care of somebody, right? Like, why would you, after you like them more, take it away? So things went kind of downhill, not because of that, but just because of his attitude, and because he must have thought that because of flying was a thing that I started to really enjoy, he probably thought he could get away with his, you know, just this crappy way of talking to me and stuff. And so I ended up leaving him because I was like, this is not okay. But when I did that, I was like, I need to take this into my own hands. And like one way to get over him is to keep flying, but, you know, take care of that myself. So I kept doing that, and it's been really cool.
You actually got one of our good friends of the show, Jay, flying also. And he's now bought his own plane up in Colorado. So it's kind of funny how things evolve. And
yeah, because I met him at the first party I went to, and we were talking, and I told him about that I was flying, and he was like, oh, I used to like to do that. He said, I used to take some lessons, but I'd gotten away from that. And then he's gotten back into taking lessons, bought a really cool plane. Like, I can't wait to see it. And yeah.
Well, he also bought a really cool house here in Phoenix recently, where we're going to hold the mixer to a Sugarpalooza 7. So you guys, nice. I mean, if you haven't applied yet, maybe that's a little teaser for you to go ahead and apply, because that house is like twice as big as mine, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Now, you have come to how many Sugarpaloozas?
3 so far.
3 so far.
Yeah.
I'll never forget the first one you were at, because you just, I think was it in the middle of summer?
Yeah.
And Allie decided that clothes were not required in the pool. And then I think you came inside because you needed a drink or something.
Oh,
and everybody was like, well, hello, how are you?
I know. I'm a little bit of an exhibitionist.
We found out.
I don't mean to be, but I guess I'm just comfortable being naked. And like everybody felt very comfortable. So...
Yeah, that was one of the moments I really noticed who Allie was. I mean, we already knew she was, but everybody figured out who Allie was. But let's go back to just kind of your initial thoughts of the first Sugarpalooza that you came to, and then your desire to keep coming back. what did you experience?
Yeah, I mean, I heard you talking about it on the podcast, like, oh, it was just amazing. All these women, just like they actually really liked each other and they got along. And I was like, there's no way.
Right.
There's no way that like in this type of situation that they would all be cool with each other and that they'd make lifelong friends and stuff. But I kept hearing about it and I was getting like insane FOMO. And I still do. Even if it's a party I'm going to and I hear about it, I'm like, oh, I get this FOMO. But anyway, so I was like, okay, well, I'll apply and see what happens. I really didn't think that I was going to get in because, you know, you put in for so many things and it doesn't always happen. But yeah, so I got the response. I was in, I came, and everybody was actually amazing. So I really have made friends with people I think will be lifelong friends. And I keep in touch with the girls group and everything. And yeah, the experience was just great because, you know, like I said, I've also made friends with Jay and some of the other guys, and we chat and I don't know.
Do you feel like your second time and third time is a completely different experience? Because what I notice is when people come initially, they get a little crazy. Things get a little out of hand sometimes. The veterans who come back, they seem a little bit more behaved the second time and third time. Have you noticed that?
Probably. Yeah. I mean, I think you're right. But everyone feels a little bit, it seemed like they were more comfortable too. Like a lot of people were. The reason I want to come back really is for just seeing friends again. Like I'm not going to be able to even try to come to the next one you guys are having because it coincides with a different trip I've got going on. That's the thing I love about it is I get to see.
Wait, the next one? Which one?
The number 7.
Oh, the 7. You're not available that weekend?
Yeah, I'm going to be out of town. I already have plane tickets, so.
Oh, well, that's a bummer.
Yeah.
It's going to be a fun one. It's not going to be quite as big as the last one. You've actually seen them grow.
Yeah.
And it's quite a diverse group.
Yeah.
You get all kinds of personalities there, that's for sure.
Yeah. It definitely, as soon as we had, especially with the more people, and I think it's good when you have the podcast listeners because that's something we have in common is that we're all like curious people. We like to listen. We like to learn. And that helps. But if someone's kind of, you know, from somewhere else, they don't listen to the podcast, you can also see that they're a bit of a different person. Like we had a few outliers that, you know, I'll say in the group last.
Did we? I was trying to think who it'd be, but I'm sure if I think hard enough, I'll figure it out. You know, one of the things that we kind of skipped, I was looking at some notes of things I want to talk to you about. Now, let's go back to this pilot. Did you have sex with him in the plane?
Oh, yeah. That's a good story.
I'm like, how did I gloss over that part?
Right, yeah. He had autopilot, and so he'd be like, you know what's really fun? And
yeah.
Man, that guy, he was a sex maniac. He could have sex 8 times a day.
Now, how old was he? How much older was he than you?
Well, he was 68 years old. And
he was that sexual?
He was a maniac. He had so much energy. He would run up a mountain in the morning for exercise. And then if I was with him, he would nonstop have sex with me if he could. I really liked it, but I would get chafed up.
Well, I would imagine. What kind of drugs was he taking?
I don't think he was, but he was.
Wow.
Yeah, it was literally, he could wake me up in the middle of the night and early in the morning, 5 times a day. But anyway, so he had this autopilot. So we did it a couple of times. It was pretty much the coolest thing ever.
Did you feel like it was a better orgasm, or it was just the idea of going up there to the Mile High Club? Was there any change in the feeling of sex?
I think it was just I was looking down at the ground from like 10,000 feet as I'm on top of this guy. It did blow my mind a little bit, and I mean, it was just a wild experience. You know, I couldn't believe that was actually happening. It was like, wow, this is my life. This is something I would never have experienced otherwise. I never was specifically interested in older men before that. You know, like I had dated up to 12 years older than myself before easily. Things like that really made me think different. Yeah, men can be hot and attractive of pretty much any age. So.
Right. Well, that's pretty cool. There's hope for us men who are getting older.
Yeah.
Sex in a plane. Well, I was going to say I haven't experienced that, but I kind of have. And I did talk about that years ago when Alejandra and I went to Hawaii. And then I'll just briefly touch on it again because it's been a couple years. But
I haven't heard it, so tell me.
So we were flying back from Hawaii on a pretty large plane, where they have the seats in the middle of the plane, and then they got the seats on the side, one of those big ones, right? So there was 3 seats in the middle of the plane, and I get stuck in the middle seat. We're flying a red eye from midnight to, I think we got to Phoenix like 6 in the morning. So anyway, I took a gummy because I just wanted to relax, sleep, and I'm sitting in the middle seat, and I've got this lady sitting next to me, and they turn out the lights, and all of a sudden Alejandra's hand starts wandering, and I'm like, whoa, hey, what's going on here? And one thing leads to another, and I had to put a blanket over my midsection, and I got there pretty quick, and I guess the combination of being really high in a public space, high in multiple ways, I guess you would say, just absolutely faded. And that was a pretty intense one. It was, I remember thinking, oh my God. And then like a typical male, I'm out the rest of the trip, man. I'm sure my mouth was wide open, snoring the whole time, but that knocked me right out.
That's a good way to go to sleep on a plane. Yeah.
It was the first time I'd ever partaken in something like that, and we laugh about it even to this day. But
love it.
Yeah, so that was my only mile high experience.
You're listening to Secrets of a Sugar Daddy. Now back to the show with your host, Marcus.
Okay, in some of my notes here, I've got that you've kind of experienced a lesson on intuition.
Oh yeah, that's just basically like one of my things that I usually try to listen to my gut, and maybe that's good advice for other maybe sugar babies or just I guess anyone out there, is to kind of listen to your gut. Because I was out with this guy. We had met for the first time over coffee. Then we met again, for our actual first date. And we went out to dinner, and we had a great conversation, and I really enjoyed the conversation. He seemed like a very nice guy. And, I knew that he wanted to go back to his place afterwards, but I didn't really feel it. So I was kind of ready to end the night. And I don't know why for sure, but I just kind of was like, yeah, I'm going to go, and he was like, no, like, come back with me to my house, because that's what he's expecting, right? But I was like, look, I'm just tired. And he was, no, come back to my house. And he started getting
that's where
a little aggressive.
I might invite somebody over, but I'm not going to just pester them, because now I feel like they're coming over and they don't really want to.
Yeah, and
but some guys have no problem pestering.
It started to give me this feeling like he thought he had already like bought and paid for something, and it was really weird because he hadn't given me anything except for he took me out to dinner. It was a nice dinner. So I got back to his place, and I was just not feeling it. I was like kind of ready to go, and then he didn't get aggressive physically, but he like yelled at me and then threw money at me, and I like ran. He didn't have to give me anything. It wasn't like I was just trying to get free lunch or something. I was just like, I don't know. I had this feeling, and it turned out he just was not, So, but I haven't had any other dangerous experiences or anything. So
when he started yelling at you, like, what was he saying?
I don't even remember. This is what we agreed on, and just... you're just a little slut, or I don't know what he actually said, but it just was something that made me feel like that. That's kind of how he made me feel. And it was like, I didn't have a choice because we had already agreed. So.
And that was on the first night you met him?
That was the second time. So we had met over coffee and we talked about things. And that was actually when I was trying to get over the pilot guy. So I was just out meeting new people, and, probably could have thought about that one a little bit more.
Right. Okay. Well, thankfully it didn't turn physical, because we have had stories where it did, and it's just disgusting that somebody can do that.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think one thing that it kind of flags when people are kind of talking to you that you're like a little piece of property, or you're just like a plaything or a toy for them. There's a lot of respect that you can see if people are respecting you as a person through chats a lot of times. And if they don't act like that, that's one good sign to stay away from that person, because then they'll have no problem with treating you like that in person.
Yeah. So tell me about some first date surprises, maybe some good things that have happened on some first dates.
Yeah, I guess I haven't had a whole lot of surprises, but, sometimes when I've met somebody and they give me like a present or a gift, like, especially when it's like a monetary gift, which says that they value your time and the effort, like you've talked about before. I mean, most people don't do that. And I think a lot of women don't necessarily expect it. Some do, but not all do. But it's definitely appreciated. Like you can tell that's a good kind of guy, and that gives me a lot of green flags, because that's ultimately like a very respectful person.
Now, when you set up a first meeting with somebody, do you demand anything from them?
No, I don't ask for anything in the chats. Like, I have heard some women say that, and I'm like, yeah, that sounds kind of, nice if they can filter out guys that way or whatever. But no, I don't ask for anything. But, I always appreciate when they do. I did have one guy actually just ask me if I would like something. And actually, I was so taken aback that I was like, no, that's fine.
Yeah.
I should have been like, yes, please, if you have something to give me. But no, I was like, oh, no, that's fine. But we actually ended up dating for real. And we're in a relationship currently. And that came out of a sugar experience.
Nice.
So
I guess something you could say to that is like, well, it's not expected, but surely it's appreciated.
Right.
Even though you might expect it. It kind of eases the situation a little bit.
Yeah. And like I said, I have appreciated that before.
I've had many guys tell me, and this has happened myself, where a girl will demand something, and they'll, if they agree to it, they'll give her that. But then in other cases where a girl didn't ask for anything and they didn't expect anything, but they appreciated anything you gave them, they got more. A lot of times. You just kind of got to feel out the situation, right? And the guy that you're talking to. But don't be short-sighted. Sometimes these deals can work into long-term networking opportunities. We just had dinner with Kimmy last night, and you've met her a few times at our party. She's great. She used to be a co-host. Well, she met a gentleman, and she doesn't always get allowance from him. They're not always together, but he hooked her up in some crypto that he launched, and now she's telling us that her little investment is worth multi-millions of dollars. Now, she doesn't get a cash out for about a year because they just launched a few days ago, but my gosh, I mean, hopefully the price of it will be where it is today or even higher a year down the road, and her little investment now paid more than she would ever got as a gift on a meet and greet.
Definitely. Yeah. And that's one thing. I definitely have met a lot of guys that I could see if I was with them long term, they'd probably buy me houses and cars, like things like that. Just like I was hearing on one of the other podcast episodes that I was listening to while I was driving up, it's like you still have to, you don't want to hate your time with that person. And not that I really haven't been with a lot of people that I hated my time, or really didn't like them. But, if I wanted to be in a relationship with them, I would get a lot out of it. But those were the cases where I didn't want to be in a relationship with them. So, yeah, it's like as long as you can really actually enjoy that person in the long term.
Are you currently in an arrangement or have any consistent men you're seeing? Yeah,
so the guy that I'm dating now, like, he does actually still give me some kind of allowance, usually every month, which is really nice.
Usually.
Well, he just bought a house, and he's, needing his money for that. So,
yeah.
And it's funny because he does have another sugar baby, actually.
And you're fine with that?
Yeah. So she was his sugar baby before I met him, and so he was, she still had her allowance and everything. And then he was going to see me because she was going to drop off. She said that she was going to drop off because she had a different relationship and she wanted to be with him. Anyway, so again, I'm polyamorous. I think that that's totally fine as long as we're consenting adults and we can have a good conversation. But yeah, so he still has her. Like, they sometimes sleep together, but they don't actually do it very often. So he mostly just supports her.
Yeah.
So, and she tans naked in his backyard and stuff. So that's another benefit that he gets. But
yeah.
and I get to see sometimes too. So
I've actually had that experience. I've had, like, Kimmy will come over, or I remember Vivian would come over, and all of a sudden I'd see them in bikinis out by my pool laying out. I'm like, yeah, this is really nice. Yeah.
Extra perk.
Yeah.
But yeah, so other than that, no, he doesn't mind that I also continue to sugar. So I do still have a couple other people that I see occasionally. So that's pretty good, but I'd actually kind of like to move away from the in-person stuff, and I'm, working on more like writing and other endeavors online so that I can hopefully make that money without physically meeting people as much in person.
You've got 3 or 4 different Instagrams. I don't know how many you got. I keep seeing them pop up, but they're dedicated to one of your interests, I believe.
Yeah, so I did just start an OnlyFans. Like I said, I'm an exhibitionist. I don't think there's anything wrong with doing that, although I do constantly second guess whether or not I should be like showing my face on everything, but that's a different debate. So do that, and then I write erotica, so I'm kind of combining those things.
Did you just start that, or have you always been kind of interested in doing that?
The writing part I've been doing for a few years. I really love writing. That's something I've always done. And for whatever reason, writing erotica comes more easily to me than about other subjects, I guess. Mm-hmm. The OnlyFans thing, I've always been people would ask me, well, would you do that? And I always said no, because I'm terrible at social media and I don't like really taking pictures. I don't like trying to play the social media game, but here I am trying to do it.
Yeah.
Just like everybody else.
Well, let me ask you a little bit about the OnlyFans, because Kimmy had a big involvement in that. And then, of course, her roommate or ex-roommate now is one of the biggest out there. How long ago did you start that?
This I just started in April. So not very long. I do have a handful of subscribers that are really great. I'm hoping that I can make something of it.
Is it something that you put a lot of work into, or you just kind of get to it when you can?
No, I'm putting a lot of work into it right now. This week I've really ramped up because I was working a lot more at my other job, and now I have a bit of a more flexible schedule, so I'm actually able to spend more time on this. And I still love connecting with people. I want to be able to connect with people while I'm, on a beach or something somewhere far away, and be on my phone or something. And so it's just a different angle, I guess. I don't really enjoy the kind of like over and over and over again trying to meet people and try to like sift out whether, it's going to be a good sugar relationship. So the ones that I have, I like to keep them best, as much as I can. I'm not trying to like throw them away. I just don't want to look for more people, but I do want to be able to make more money.
Yeah. Well, if you're serious about the OnlyFans stuff, from my observation and just from what I hear from Kimmy, and Ariel is the other girl who a lot of you know, it's constant posting something on social media every day, which is funneling people to the OnlyFans. And then people will sign up for the OnlyFans, and then they'll cancel after a month, and you got to get more and more. And it's just, but then some will stick. So you're just trying to build your base where you have a consistent income coming in.
Yeah, so it's a really different, it's weird because it has some overlap where, you're kind of like out there a little bit and you're doing something that's maybe on the fringes. It's not illegal or anything, but it's just kind of like, oh, this is questionable about your morals and stuff. So I always have that little wrestle with myself, but I don't think there's anything wrong with it, really.
You're listening to Secrets of a Sugar Daddy. Now back to the show with your host, Marcus.
This last or no, I don't think it was this last Sugar Palooza. It was the one. No, it was this last Sugar Palooza. We had a group come in early, and we all went to a sex club. Were you there?
Yeah, I was there. Yeah, we watched someone get spanked and paddled.
Yes, you were there. I remember you.
Yes.
Yeah, what did you think of that? Have you visited those before?
Yeah, actually, that was, I have been to like 4 of them in the past because like I said, kind of an exhibitionist, and I like doing stuff like that. So it's a funny story, actually, because I know we're kind of getting close on time, but I think this is a fun story.
Oh, we're good. Oh,
we're good. Okay, great. That same place that we went to, I went back and I brought my boyfriend and his friend with benefits.
Now, your boyfriend, is this a sugar daddy or is this a...
Yeah, he's the guy that I'm dating now.
Okay.
So now, I call him my boyfriend or my partner or significant other or whatever. But yeah, him and his sugar baby, we all went together. It was such a funny experience because he just looks like just some dude. Like he doesn't have a 6-pack or any of that. He's just like...
He's got a 1-pack.
Yeah. Yeah. He's just like, looks like just a dude. But like, I'm like going down on him in front of all these people and stuff. And this one guy kept going like, is he like the owner of Boeing or something? And I thought that was the funniest thing because I made him look so good. I made me so proud of it. And then his like stripper friend, the other girl, she comes in from another room and sits down next to us and people's minds were just like blown. It was fun.
So wait a minute, you were having sex in one of the rooms, but you left the door open? Is that what you did?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, cause you can go in if they don't you can put a string on the door, you can close the door, whatever. And I did get my butt paddled. I think I also did that too before that. So I ended up with some bruises the next day as well.
Well, we went there. It was only my second time and we didn't really partake in anything. It was just because there was a big group of us and we were just having fun. And you talk about people looking at our group like, what just walked in here? Because everybody was so gorgeous and put together, but just having a great time. It was interesting.
That was so fun. We really definitely got some people looking like, what? Who are all these people?
And then the first time I went, there was 6 of us went, and then Alejandra and I snuck off to a room and we closed the door, did our thing, and then we fell asleep. On one of the beds. We got a little bit exhausted and then laid down, and then we woke up like 30 minutes later. We thought, well, we should probably let somebody have this room. It was kind of interesting.
That's cool. That's fun. Yeah.
Well, what's funny is as we came out of the room and there was a whole different crowd and like sitting on the couches. We're like, wow, none of these people were even here when we went into the room.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a cool looking place though. Like
it's not bad, huh?
I've been to a few different ones, and that one's pretty much I think the coolest one I've seen.
Yeah, I don't have any other experience, so I don't know. Because it feels like a club with rooms that you can sneak off to instead of being everybody's in there for sex. And then, but I don't know, to me it feels like that's just kind of the side event.
Right. Yeah, that is a nice thing about it is that you can kind of have a little bit of both. At some of the other places that I've been to, like you have to put I wouldn't put my clothes on. I would like run around all over the place. As you can imagine, I didn't worry about that. But at this place, I was like, oh, I should at least put some lingerie back on. So like put my underwear back on and go out and get a drink. And people are just like staring at me like, what are you doing? But it was fun.
Well, tell me a little bit about this erotica writing. I'm curious. Are these from your experiences or are these just fantasies? Where are you getting your material?
They're from my fantasies. And I feel like my brain's like a little bit out there. I even have crazy dreams about things I never thought of before or ever done. So no, these are like fantasies. And because I found that it was a lot easier to get off. Like I had the hardest time, getting off during sex in the past. And I found it was a lot easier if I had some kind of fantasy in my head. So I kind of have a flip book of stuff that I pull out if I'm having a hard time. Some of that has come out in some way or another into my writing. And so I write a lot of exhibitionism, voyeurism, group type stuff, because that's sort of yeah, that's kind of the sort of thing that gets me excited.
What are you doing with these writings? Are you publishing them?
Yeah, so I don't have any that are like, you don't have to pay for anything right now. I have everything that it's free. And currently that is kind of part of the funnel so that people who read that can, like on Reddit, for example, or Literotica, is another place that you can find it, can find the rest of what I do that's actually paid. But I'm working on a series right now that will hopefully be part of an email list so that if you want to read the stories, you subscribe to the email, and that's also going to help.
Now, you have an Instagram dedicated to that, right? Mm-hmm. What's that name?
The Instagram that is dedicated, that I think it's Allie, AllieOpal, opal.xo, AllieOpal.xo, yeah,
something like that. Mm-hmm. Well, we'll put a link to it in this in this description of the show.
Yeah, so if you want to read the crazy stories that come out of my brain, please don't judge me, or if you do, just don't tell me. Actually, you can judge me, just maybe don't tell me.
Yeah. How many do you think you have written?
On Literotica, I have 16 posted, but I have pieces of other stories that are still in the works, and I just finished, I think, the first chapter of my series that I'm going to put on my email list.
Well, that's really cool. That's a lot, actually. There's enough variety in there to make them all different?
Oh, my goodness. I wrote about adult playground. I had a series of that. I had an outdoor one, and I have I don't even know where these ideas come from.
Yeah.
A bunch of crazy stuff.
So do you find yourself having public sex?
No, I mean, really, so I'm obviously against people who don't want to seeing it. Like, I'm not going to ever make anyone uncomfortable by doing something. So I like going to those clubs because that's something that's okay, and people can, they can expect that. I mean, the closest I ever got was balcony sex at a top of a hotel or something where, most likely no one's going to see you, or in a bathroom. I had this, so the pilot guy, he really loved to do stuff in public. And so he was always trying to find places that we could do it. And it was on the verge of, I was worried that we would actually get caught sometimes. So
what was some other spots?
It was weird. He wanted to do it in a Mexican restaurant one time, and I was like, no. I'm like, there are literally people right there. And he's like, come on, you can just sit on my lap. And I was like, I hope you're not serious. I don't want to get arrested.
Right.
And there's literally families here. Yeah. I'm against doing anything illegal like that, and so.
Yeah. Do you find that on your erotica that you write, do you find yourself ever wanting to live out those fantasies?
I mean, the fantasies are often something that really couldn't happen. I write about a world where you could be maybe allowed to have sex on a subway or something like that under certain circumstances, or maybe you could have sex with all these people but not get an STD because in that fantasy world, then you can't for some reason.
Yeah.
So I kind of get around some of those things, but in real life, you still have to be concerned about, you can't do that on the subway. You can't, not worry about STDs. So some of them are just fantasies, but I think the closest thing is, going to those clubs, because that's just it's a different environment, and it's definitely it is consent that you're going to possibly see that stuff if you go in there.
Right, right. Are you still on Seeking currently?
Yeah, I still am. I still have a profile. I don't know about Seeking. It probably exists, but I haven't been able to access that for a while, so I just don't bother with it. Plus, I've heard a lot of the women saying, they're worried about being kicked off and stuff because of words used or whatever. But on the other one, the luxury date one, I still have a profile. I've visited a couple times, but I'm just kind of losing interest in the idea of meeting new people in that way. So, yeah, but I still dabble.
You ever found a sugar daddy in the wild?
That's a good question. No, I haven't. It's funny because before I ever heard about sugar dating to begin with, I really enjoy going out to this one particular bar, and I would just read or color or something, and I always had guys.
Color?
Yeah, I had coloring books. Okay. Yeah, and I would actually, it was to the point where I was passing them out down the bar and everybody would color.
Really?
So it was really fun. It was just
an icebreaker for you.
Yeah, it was just a tap room. It was a nice place. A lot of people would come and I would meet friends there. But I loved getting drinks bought for me, and that was the only place that I've ever really had that happen. But I think it was like, if I had been aware of what sugar dating was at the time, maybe I would have tried that. But I was mostly just concerned with getting drinks bought for me. So.
Yeah. Yeah. So let me ask you this as we're running out of time. You've been to 3 Sugar Paloozas. Is there anything you would like us to do at those that we don't currently do? What do you think of the structure of those?
No, I do really like the structure. I like that there is variety, and one of my favorite things from the first and the third one that I went to was the party bus, and I know you said you're bringing that back, so that's
the
really
party
cool.
Bus is a permanent attraction of Sugar Palooza. We've had too many really fun videos and other things that have happened on the party bus to not do that.
Yeah, that was so much fun. So, no, that's really cool. I really like just having a mixer where you can kind of talk. Like, I have a really hard time because I want to talk to everybody, and then I want to dance, and I want to talk to everybody. Mm-hmm. But, if there's any way I can see all those people again, like, that's what I want. I just love that. And yeah, anybody else who goes for the first time, you'll have new friends, and it's just really, it's great.
So one of the big reasons you wanted to go is because you're like, wait a minute, these people actually get along, and you found out that they really do. Yeah,
and it's really nice to have like the chats that we still have, like the WhatsApp chats, so because I feel like it's a really good community. We can like talk about some of the things, and I don't feel like I'm alone, and I've heard everybody else say that, but it's like true.
Yeah. So that's one of the benefits. If you join our Patreon, all you got to do is ask, hey, I want in the girls chat group. I have no idea what goes on in there. I am not allowed in there. It's a girls only chat, and you guys can feel comfortable about talking about anything. And I'm sure there's lots of fun subjects that come up there, situations. And
yeah, I mean, hopefully everybody in there is a girl. We don't have any, like,
Lily's vetted them somewhat. But yeah, I mean, if you tried hard enough, you could get in there.
Yeah, well, and it's not like we're giving out personal details, like where we live and stuff in that chat either. So
but we want to make it a safe space for the women to bounce ideas and situations off of each other. In their own little group without being judged.
It's really great.
Yeah, well, good. Well, thanks for coming up. The hour went really quick, didn't it?
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Wasn't so bad, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know you were a little nervous, but you did great. And if you guys want to share your crazy sugar dating stories, we'd love to hear those. You can go to our website, secretsofasugardaddy.com. You can contact us there. Like Allie, you can always message us on Instagram. We are at Secrets of a Sugar Daddy, easy to find. Also on YouTube. I mean, there's so many ways for you to contact us. And actually, I've got someone working on some social media clips, so hopefully we're going to start ramping that up again, along with our TikTok. I just don't have time to do all this, but we're trying. And so I've got somebody that I've hired to help me, and we're hoping to start doing that a little bit more. Because like I was telling you, the success for OnlyFans, you got to post like every day. And the same for us. Like if we want to be more successful and get more people, we've got to post every day. And this is not my full-time job, so it's a little tough because I do work. I have a sugar baby to support, and as she's embedding herself in my life, I'm finding I'm paying for more and more things, but I don't mind. She's great, and we've been doing this for 3.5 years, and I've been able to introduce her to some amazing vacations and people. And, we continue to make network and continue to make new friends. So if you look at the long-term benefits of sugar dating instead of the short-term, you're just going to have just be more successful. Don't you agree?
Absolutely.
Yeah. I'm still on Seeking, and I still talk to people. just because I don't want, I'm doing a show about it, so I want to make sure I've kind of got a pulse of what's going on. I can't tell you how many people are so into it for what are you going to give me now, or I'm not going to show up.
I know, it's so true. I have to share. So I saved it because I was listening to it on the way up, and I think everybody should listen to episode 192 with Sugar Baby Mickey, because that conversation was just really great at explaining, like, the difference between sugar dating and prostitution, and also like why, it's important to really connect with the person that you're seeing, and also why the money doesn't make you it's not paying for sex. So I just thought that was a really great episode. So.
Yeah, I do remember that one, and that is great advice. We've got so many great episodes, but if you want to really get some hard-hitting, good information, 192 with Mickey, that's our friend from California, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's come to a few Sugar Paloozas, and she's definitely coming to the next because she can't imagine her life without it now.
Yeah, right.
All right. We've got to run. Until next time. Bye-bye.
Thanks for joining us. If you'd like to connect or even be on the show, we'd love to hear from you at secretsofasugardaddy.com.